Okay, welcome to Miracle Mondays. I'm Melanie, and this is my beautiful mom, Lynn. We've been gifted with a kind of relationship where meaningful conversations flow naturally about life, love, loss, and all the little miracles that carry us through. My mom has always had this incredible way of seeing the light, even in the darkest moments. And we've been having these soul nourishing talks literally my whole life. It says our whole lives, but my whole life. And because of that, we felt called to share them with you. If they've touched us in this way and guided us, then maybe they will do the same for you. So thank you for listening to our little chit chats. Okay, hi.
Hi.
So as you can tell, I decided that we should intro it in some way just to, and maybe we'll have to tweak that a little bit, but it's a start. Imperfectly perfect. Um, So before we get started in today's conversation, which came up on the weekend, that's why it's happening today. I just want to say thank you for a beautiful, beautiful weekend. It was Mother's Day yesterday, Uva's birthday yesterday, and so we were together. And it was just, yesterday was perfect.
The best day,
Yeah,
just the best day, unplanned best day.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I love those kinds of days where it is like you just wake up, see what the weather's like, see what we're all feeling like, and just decide, see where the wind takes you versus having a rigid plan. So it was just perfect.
I agree.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. And so because we were together all weekend, having our usual meaningful conversations on the couch and just visiting, one of the conversations, and mom is so excited to have this one, is, and
Her nose
actually,
is growing because it's not the truth.
but you know what? It's the conversations we have, and that's what we're chatting about. And I don't know where it will take us, but the conversation started in my car ride up or down to your place with my daughter, talking about um, bad people, for lack of a better word. And her and I were having the conversation of like, she believes that there's bad people, and I don't believe that there's bad people. And that really, she did not love that, my take on it. So, of course, the conversation continued at your place of, well, she asked you, Nana, do you believe that there are bad people in the world?
And she's asking because of what she's going through. She's going through a challenging time where she's having to look at something and somebody, and she's trying to get her bearings, really,
That's
is
right.
where it's coming from.
That's right. So, when she asked you, Nana, do you believe there are bad people in the world?
Honestly, I really don't remember the conversation. Like, I seriously don't. So
That's
we,
okay, but just imagine she's asking you that now.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that there's different levels. So if we look, we can look at the physical level of people doing things that aren't nice and are unkind or breaking the law or hurting other people. And no, I don't think those are good people. I'm sorry, but I really don't. And then there's a higher level, a spiritual level, where we're all these souls that came in here and we don't know what that journey was about. We don't know anything really. We just make it all up. And from a higher spiritual level, then I have a different opinion. But from a physical down here level, yeah, I don't even like to say it, but
I know.
I feel there are people that aren't, let's say they aren't good people, and they are unkind and hurtful purposefully. They do it on purpose. And I know you make up reasons,
What were you just gonna say, Mom?
excuses,
Hmm?
and that we do view this a little differently. But yeah, I think there's some people that, and maybe that's their journey. Maybe they are just here to learn from that. I don't know. I don't bother going into that. It doesn't matter to me. It just simply, it's really challenging for me because kindness is a big thing for me. So all my life, I could never figure out why people aren't kind. I just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that I was on a spiritual path. It wasn't that I was on a personal development path. It was none of the above. It was simply, I just couldn't understand why people can't be kind. And so kindness is a big issue for me. And
Yeah.
so when people aren't kind, yeah, it's a bit challenging to make up excuses. To me, there's no excuse for not being kind to people. So
Yeah.
that's my long-winded.
And the shortened answer, and that was really good. And I think this is so good because it really has had me thinking a lot about it. But the short answer was, Nana, do you believe there's bad people in the world? And you said yes. And
Mhm.
and she said, see, my mom doesn't think there's bad people in this world. And so really interesting. I mean, and obviously we then had a big long conversation about it. And there are, like you said, different levels and different um yeah, different levels of like the humanness here on earth versus a higher level. And and you called it excuses that I make. And it's just really interesting. So my conversation on the car ride up and then on Nana's couch was like, I've always viewed it as that there aren't bad people, that people make bad choices and do bad things, but that there aren't bad people. And she was saying, so like people that are in jail, are they bad people? I don't think they are. I think they're hurting. I think they're in pain, and that pain caused them to do something bad, but I don't think they're bad people. What about the guy who was going to blow up the bridge? Again, same thing. Like that was a thing that happened here in the Okanagan. It's like, I don't think of him as a bad person. I think of him as a person who's probably in a lot of pain, who just doesn't know what else to do. So it's just really interesting. Um, it's just really interesting because I have a really hard time thinking that there are bad people.
Well, I think, I mean, as you're speaking, it's like, again, different conversations at different times, but the bottom line is we each make up our own
Yeah.
opinion. We each have our own opinion, and then we live our life, as if it's true. But really, we're making up that they're hurting or in pain. We're making up that they're unkind. We're making up everything. We're just viewing their behavior, and we're deciding something about their behavior.
Yeah, and I like to decide things that make me feel good, and
Yeah,
that makes me feel better
yeah.
than thinking somebody's bad. But you know what's interesting, and it didn't come up, I don't think, in our conversation together, but it did come up on our car ride up, down or up, I don't know which one.
Mhm.
When I was reading Brene Brown's Anatomy of the Heart book, and there's a word, and it has like words and the description of what and the definition. And the words are all, I think, emotions or feelings. I can't remember exactly. I should pull it up, but and there's a word in her book of feelings or emotions or whatever, that I can't remember what the word was, but it was that people get pleasure from hurting. Like this emotion or this thing is when somebody gets pleasure
Mhm.
from hurting someone else.
Mhm.
And when I read that and it was in Brene Brown's book, I was like, and this was a couple years ago, but it was
Mhm.
like maybe there actually is. And the situation that caused this whole conversation in the first place, I was like, I wonder, maybe that person actually really gets pleasure from hurting. Anyways, I think you're right. I know you're right in that we make up stories in order to be okay with whatever's happening.
Mhm.
Like, I want to be happy. I want to feel good. I want to feel at peace. I want to feel like the world is a good place. I want to, all of these things. And so I've made up this story or created a belief that is, you know, that there's not bad people. And maybe that's to make me feel better. I don't know, really.
And when you're actually having me think about it too, it's like I don't think about bad things. I don't think about bad things that happen or bad, what you might call bad people. To me, I'm surrounded by absolutely beautiful, amazing human beings. Like
Yeah.
I had just everything in my life. I have the most beautiful, amazing people always. So I see everybody as, in a way, it's just a different view of it, but I see everybody as, yeah, just amazing, just beautiful, kind and loving. And, I feel so grateful for all the different people, whether they're friends or relatives or students or who it might be. I'm just blessed being surrounded by absolutely beautiful, amazing people. So I feel the world is filled with beautiful people. So I don't really give any energy to
Hmm.
something that isn't. So it doesn't affect how I feel because my focus is on all these beautiful, beautiful people.
And maybe this particular situation, because it's been such a significant part of our life, it's not been one that I could ignore. So I had to make up a good story.
Right. And so it happens to be one of the things too that because it is in our life, I could say really unkind things about this person, which it's not worth talking about. But the
Yeah.
point is, yeah, I mean, it touched our family. Um, I'm going to say horrible things happened. We had to overcome like really horrible things. And honestly, my view of that person is that yes, they got pleasure out of hurting all of us.
Hmm.
And so, but again, I don't spend time thinking about it. And if I think of that person, I can't think that, everything was done just because they had a problem, because we've all had sad things happen in our life. We've all had challenges. Nobody is bypassed by that. So we've all had it. I think I was watching a detective show the other day and I just loved it because this woman was apologizing to this man for, she got so angry at him for something. And she said, "I'm really sorry, but when I was growing up," and he just said, "Stop. You are a grown woman. What happened to you in your childhood has no bearing on who you are now." And I thought, oh, there you go.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yes.
I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, um, and a really good one to have, because we know that it does impact us, but we do have a choice at some point whether we heal that or not. And
Yes.
that's where, my conversation in the car, I'm learning from my, 18, almost 19-year-old daughter who's saying, like, there's a choice and this person is not making the choice, you know? And so it is really, it is really interesting. And I have not landed, like, I mean, we had this conversation over the weekend. I had the conversation in the car ride down and in the car ride up. And so it's at the forefront of my mind. I haven't, I haven't landed, but another interesting, like, piece of this is that I made up this story in order to support my
Mhm.
daughter,
Yeah.
because I didn't feel that way in the beginning, obviously,
Mhm.
because I was hurt and whatever. And then I made up that story. And now it actually does the opposite of support her, because it feels as though, because she's so hurt, it feels like I'm not supporting her when I say this person isn't bad. So it's just so interesting, right? And that's motivation enough for me to look at how I view all of this
Mhm.
because I love, obviously I love my kids more than anything. So it's like, if my way of thinking and doing things is creating this kind of discomfort, then at least I need to like look at it for her, right?
Yes. And the thing is, again, I mean, it's circumstantial, right? So in the beginning of all this trauma, there wouldn't have been kind things to say. Then, as it goes on to support her, then you shifted. Now to support her, we shift, and so
Yeah,
on. It's like everything evolves. It's not, nothing's carved in stone.
yeah,
It evolves. And like you said, you really love her. So you took one view and held on to it tightly so that you could, because nobody else agreed with that. Everybody else would have said nasty
you're
things.
crazy. And to this day, people like can't believe that I'm so.
Mhm,
So it's an interesting, like, I'm gonna say battle
mhm,
inside of me,
mhm,
but not really a battle, but just kind of like sorting it all through. I
mhm,
love that you said, like, I mean, the bottom line is you do think that there's bad people, but you don't even like to say it. It's not like you sit there walking around going, there are bad people in this world. But when asked, you believe it. So I think there's something I can learn from that to like to accept that, but not like live in that, because I want to live in the joy and the beauty and the light and all of the amazing people that there are, and there are. I keep having flashes, and it's weird that I actually drove by it yesterday of do you remember when we did the training at the Women's Correction Center?
yes.
And
Every
I
time
think
I
of
go
those,
by there, I think of that. Yeah.
yeah, and I think of those women who broke the law in some way to be in that place, and we were dancing with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And so, anyway, so it's just an interesting, like, I think of them, and that's another example where maybe some people would think that they're bad people. I saw these people who are women, just like you and I, who made some choices that landed them in a correction center.
Mhm,
Yeah, so it's messy in my mind, I guess. It's messy in my
mhm.
mind. So I'm
Well,
gonna
because
try to,
we just viewed them as we were doing a workshop for these women. We were very excited. And I remember the people that ran the facility thought, oh, we told them about our program and that we did the dancing in it. And I can remember her thinking, well, don't be disappointed if they don't participate. And
that's right.
everybody participated.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was
Mhm.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah. But we
yeah,
saw them just the same as we honored them for who they were and where they were, but we didn't, we shared information the same as we did with everybody else.
yeah,
We were
yeah,
there for a purpose to support these women. We didn't change what we said because of where they were.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, maybe there's a le- maybe it's
Mhm.
not a one size fits all.
That's
And maybe
right.
there are people who make mistakes because of their pain. Maybe there are other people who actually get true pleasure from hurting people. You know, maybe there's all of it's true. Maybe
Mhm.
all of it's true.
Because we're all unique human beings.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, so there's two sides. One is what we're observing, and the other is what we think about what we're observing and what we personally choose to focus our attention on. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously,
Hmm.
you know, I mean, yeah,
Say
I
what you're gonna
just want
say.
to be careful that we don't say, you know, but there are times too when, you know, that person was great. And then something happened and
Yeah.
something shifted, but nothing bad happened, just a new choice. That's all. So I don't know. I just think we shift and change. We have to, so it goes down to really what we say all the time. We have to know what our purpose is, what's important to us, who we are as a human being, our identity, all of the things that we talk about in our courses and when we work with people. It's no different. It's the same. There's the
Mhm.
same foundation, no matter what. And if you don't know what your purpose is and you don't know who you are as a human being, at least who you want to be sincerely as a human being, well,
Yeah.
then you can stumble along. You can choose to see the world how you want. There are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people in this world, and the world itself is beautiful. And then we know that there are things going on in other places that aren't so wonderful.
Well, and even right here.
Yes. So what do you want to think
Yeah.
about? How do
Yeah.
you want to feel? And it is a choice. It really is. So it's not like burying my head in the sand on, different issues either, or you. I think it's just a matter of situational. And then based on that, we have our opinion. And the other thing is sometimes keeping our opinion to ourselves is a good idea.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I haven't landed because I can't imagine thinking that there are bad people. Like I can't imagine it. I'm open to thinking about it, you know. I'm
So my
certainly open to
question is, why
thinking,
do you have to think about it? Why don't you just drop the bad people thing?
well, only because it was a conversation and important in one particular situation
Yeah.
that I need to sort of ad adopt that thinking.
Or just change it, just decide.
Is this turning into a coaching session, Mummy?
Sorry.
Uh,
Anyways, we
yeah,
see things differently. Each
that's
of
right.
us sees things differently, and we have our own reasons for seeing them the way we see them.
Yeah,
And then we can decide, do I like how I feel when I think this way, or do I not like how I
yeah.
feel when I think this way? It's
And the
really,
truth is, I quite like the way I do it.
yes. Well, then good.
Yeah. Except that in this one situation, I'm gonna change it for the support of people that I love. But I quite like just thinking everybody's good and that
Yeah.
they're just behaving that way because they have some pain they need to heal. I like
Mhm.
that. It makes me feel good. I quite like thinking that.
Right. And in a way, that's what I think. I think everybody's good
Yeah.
because that's all I see. I see beautiful, amazing people. That's all that comes in front of me.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody's good. I don't really think about bad.
Yeah.
It's just not a place I go. I don't seem to
Yeah.
go to those sides. It's like,
Yeah. So it probably looks exactly the way we do it,
yes,
just worded differently.
I think so.
Yeah.
I do think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go. We did it.
No wonder we get along.
Yeah. Okay, well, I have no idea if this conversation was helpful to anybody else, but I think these are the kinds of conversations that we're having. Not good people versus not good people. Can't even say it. Um, but just these different conversations, like about real things, and yeah. So I think it's good.
And just one thing in terms of us sharing this too, it's like for you and I, the reason that you had this idea is because when we have these natural conversations, we each do consider something else.
Yeah,
It has each of us, considering the way we think about something, or, oh, that could be a possibility. So that's really what this is about. Never digging our heels in, and this is what I believe, and this is what
yeah.
you believe. It's like, that's interesting.
Yeah, and
Right.
some of our conversations are like we're both like, yeah, like on the same page and whatever. And other conversations we do think about things differently,
Yeah.
but always they're great conversations. It's never like conflict or we both really one of the things, about our relationship, and I know you're exactly the same with Brad. He should be on these calls with us, but and maybe he will start one day, but is like this honoring of each other. Like we love each other, we honor each other, we allow each other to be who we are. There's not trying to convince somebody to be something different. Like we just have these conversations and we don't always have to agree. But that's never a problem.
No, because we come forward even with curiosity.
Yeah,
Like we're curious about what each of us thinks about this same topic.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah. So anyways, I love these conversations with you.
me too.
Okay, I love you.
Okay, I love you too.
See you lots of times, but see everybody next time.
Yep.
Okay.